With containers comes a level of agility never before experienced in the world of business. In seconds, administrators can roll out deployments for a multitude of services. And when those businesses need to scale down those containers, they can turn to Docker, Swarm, or Kubernetes. But what exactly happens when even a standard container workflow cannot keep up with the ever growing demand of business? You'd be hard pressed to find a more efficient means of deploying and scaling a container cluster. And although that may very well be true, it does not mean the development cycle cannot be improved. GitOps is a method of workflow that was conceptualized by everyone who successfully did infrastructure as code, and today we shall talk all about it. But before we begin, let's discuss the agenda for today. Starting out, we'll get familiar with the term GitOps, what it is, and why it is required, its main principles and features. Then, we shall move on to the working of GitOps and discuss each stage of the process. Moving on, we shall discuss the advantages of GitOps and finally conclude the session. Kindly take up this time to subscribe to us and do not forget to hit that bell icon to never miss an update from the Edureka YouTube channel. Also, to learn more about the new trending technologies, visit our page, the link to which is given in the description box below. So, without much ado, let's get started. So, why GitOps? Previously, companies usually had separate operations and development teams, and unfortunately, they did not talk to each other too much. Luckily, we have DevOps, which tries to address this by ensuring increased collaboration so that operations and development teams work closely together. In an ideal world, it meant that you have the same people who are both writing the applications and operating the applications. It means automating as much as possible to reduce the need for manual human input when operating applications. So, DevOps was a cultural change. Now, with GitOps, it takes it to the next level, where teams have an operating model where they not only define the infrastructure as code, but also make deployments and changes to infrastructure as code by submitting pull requests that people can eventually review and approve collectively. With GitOps, you make it ubiquitous to have continuous integration on a continuous delivery server when deploying your application. Now, once you submit a change, the server will pick it up immediately, pull the changes, execute any automatic tests, execute any quality checks, and eventually build the artifact. This artifact is then published to an artifact repository and eventually deployed to infrastructure. By applying GitOps, there is a source of truth for both your infrastructure and application code, allowing development teams to increase velocity and eventually improve system reliability. With all of this said, what exactly is GitOps? On the surface, it is quite simple. GitOps is centered around using a version control system such as Git to house all information, documentation, and code for a cluster deployment, and then use automated directors to deploy changes to the cluster. However, once you dig past the surface, you discover that it's far more complex than that. GitOps is the operational practice which uses Git as a single source of truth. It is to be noted that source control repository on Git becomes the source of truth and not the actual servers or the clusters. This is nothing but having your infrastructure as a code, which means all your infrastructure setup is inside a code base. It also includes the automation of deployments, rollbacks, and much more. Git repository can be leveraged for version controlling system, peer reviewing system, automating and deploying process for the production environment. Using Git itself, developers are now doing continuous delivery and automated pipelines. Additionally, the webhooks from the Git can be leveraged to push these configurations into the development and test environments. So once you merge that particular pull request onto the main branch, the deployment to production eventually happens. On the other hand, GitOps also allows automating everything using pipelines and deploying that to production once you merge the code into your production branch. It is called GitOps because all the configurations are managed in the Git repository. Many developers deploy the infrastructure code as well as a part of the automation process by using only one repository for an application or a service and have a separate repository for each of them. Now, let's say you have three environments, namely development, test, and production. There should also be three branches that are named the same, that is development, test, and production. This is done to map each of these branches to different environments in the Kubernetes cluster. Once you push the changes onto that particular branch, there will be a relevant automated pipeline which will be eventually set up. This means that whenever there is a change for that specific branch, the pipeline deploys to that environment. It also identifies, tests, and verifies that the environment looks alright. This way, when a developer makes a change in their development branch, and once the development branch succeeds, they will eventually be able to merge pull requests in order to join it to the production branch. And once you click on merge, that is when it will all deploy to the production environment. If you want to do a rollback, you can simply create another pull request to roll back to that particular previous state of the branch. So, if a user goes and changes the code in the Git repository, it creates a container image, and that container image is pushed to the container registry, which is eventually updated into a config updater. Once you create a pull request to merge to a different branch, that is when it deploys to the concerned branch, and then it tests whether these are good. This way, every time you raise a pull request, you know what you're merging, and that pull request is being reviewed by somebody based on the success criteria of that particular automated branch pipeline. This is how GitOps helps teams in solving the automation problem. Thus, GitOps can be summarized as these two things. The first one is that it is a path towards a developer experience for managing applications, where end-to-end CI/CD pipelines and Git workflows are applied to both operations and development. The second one is that it is an operating model for Kubernetes and other cloud-native technologies, providing a set of best practices that unify deployment, management, and monitoring for containerized clusters and applications. GitOps is based off of four main principles. So to start managing your cluster with GitOps workflows, the following must be in place. The first one is that the entire system described declaratively. Kubernetes is just one example of many modern cloud-native tools that are declarative and that can be treated as code. Declarative means that configuration is guaranteed by a set of facts instead of by a set of instructions. With your application's declarations versionized in Git, you have a single source of truth. Your applications can then easily be deployed and rolled back to and from Kubernetes. And even more importantly, when disaster strikes, your cluster's infrastructure can also be dependably and quickly reproduced. The second one is the canonical desired system state versionized in Git. With the declaration of your system stored in a version control system and serving as your canonical source of truth, you have a single place from which everything is derived and driven. This trivializes rollbacks, where you can use a Git revert to go back to your previous application state. With Git's excellent security guarantees, you can also use your SSH key to sign commits that eventually enforce strong security guarantees about the authorship and provenance of your code. The third one is approve changes that can be automatically applied to the system. Once you have the declared state kept in Git, the next step is to allow any changes to that system to be automatically applied to your system. What's significant about this is that you do not need cluster credentials to make a change to your system. With GitOps, there is a segregated environment of which the state definition lives outside. This allows you to separate what you do and how you're going to do it. The fourth and the last principle is that software agents to ensure correctness and alert on divergence. Once the state of your system is declared and kept under version control, software agents can inform you whenever reality does not match your expectations. The use of agents also ensures that your entire system is self-healing. And by self-healing, we do not just mean when nodes or pods fail. Those are handled by Kubernetes, but in a broader sense, like in the case of human error. In this case, software agents act as the feedback and control loop for your operations. Now, I assume all of you have a fair idea of what GitOps is. Moving on, we'll discuss how it works. So, how does GitOps work? It's pretty complicated, but let's try and understand this in a simple way. Imagine you have every single piece of documentation, all of your YML files, and every bit of necessary code required for Kubernetes contained in a single Git repository. With the help of a few automation tools, anyone who is tasked with managing that Kubernetes deployment can do a pull request, edit the code, and then eventually issue a merge request to the Git repository. So once the merge request is complete, the automated GitOps operator detects something has changed. Another automator declares the change is operational, and the change is then automatically deployed to the cluster. So basically, there are two important things you need to know. The first one is that changes are made via pull requests. Operating via pull requests reduces the number of variables, which eventually transform deployments into crime scenes. Fortunately, code deployers are no longer awarded war hero status for manually moving bits from point A to point B. The second thing is that convergence ensures eventual consistency. If a group of configuration updates is made by a human, the observed state in the cluster can drift from the desired state declared in Git, thus causing divergence. When the desired and observed states are different, Kubernetes provides a convergence mechanism to drive the observed state towards what the teams declared as a desired state in version control. Now let's discuss a typical developer workflow for creating or updating a feature. A pull request for a new feature is pushed to GitHub for review. The code is reviewed and approved by a colleague. So after the code is revised and reapproved, it is merged to Git. The Git merge eventually triggers the continuous integration and build pipeline. It runs a series of tests and eventually builds a new image and deposits this new image to a registry. The deployment automator watches the image registry, notices the image, pulls the new image from the registry, and updates its YML in the config repository. The deployment synchronizer, which is installed to the cluster, detects that the cluster is out of date. It pulls the change manifest from the config repository and deploys the new feature to production. So in this workflow that I just talked about, automation is extremely crucial. So as to keep everything moving with a level of efficiency that cannot be matched with purely manual administration. The GitOps core machinery is in its CI/CD tooling, with the critical piece being continuous deployment that eventually supports Git cluster synchronization. So now we'll move on and talk about the benefits of applying GitOps best practices. The first one is increased productivity. Continuous deployment automation with an integrated feedback control loop speeds up mean time to deployment. Your team can ship 30 to 100 times more changes per day, increasing overall development output by almost 2-3 times. The second reason is enhanced developer experience. Push code and not containers. Developers can use familiar tools like Git to manage updates and features to Kubernetes more rapidly without having to know the internal of Kubernetes. Newly onboarded developers can get quickly up to speed and be productive within days instead of months. The third benefit is improved stability. When you use Git workflows to manage your cluster, you automatically gain a convenient audit log of all cluster changes outside of Kubernetes. An audit trail of who did what and when to your cluster can be used to meet SOC2 compliance and ensure stability. The fourth benefit is higher reliability. With Git's capability to revert or rollback and fork, you gain stable and reproducible rollbacks. Because your entire system is described in Git, you also have a single source of truth from which to recover after a meltdown, reducing your mean time to recover from hours to minutes. The fifth benefit is consistency and standardization. Because GitOps provides one model for making infrastructure, applications, and Kubernetes add on changes, you have consistent end-to-end workflows across your entire organization. Not only are your continuous integration and continuous deployment pipelines all driven by pull request, but your operations tasks are also fully reproducible through Git. The last and most important benefit is stronger security guarantees. Git's strong correctness and security guarantees, backed by the strong cryptography used to track and manage changes, as well as the ability to sign changes to prove authorship and origin, is key to a secure definition of the desired state of the cluster. With that, we move towards concluding our session. GitOps builds and iterates on ideas drawn from DevOps and site reliability engineering. As a workflow for CI/CD pipelines, GitOps has been described as the holy grail of development processes. And because there is no single tool that can do everything required in your CI/CD pipeline, GitOps gives you the freedom to choose the best tools for the different parts. GitOps enables infrastructure as code, while it takes full advantage of the move towards immutable infrastructure and declarative container orchestration. Most importantly, GitOps makes your workflow far more efficient. I shall leave you with that thought. My name is Kavya. Thank you and have a great day.
I hope you have enjoyed listening to this video. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries, and we will reply them at the earliest. Do look out for more videos in our playlist and subscribe to Edureka channel to learn more. Happy learning!